We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Armand Membou, Missouri right tackle, 2025 NFL draft prospect, number 79 right here. Like, this guy, after watching his film, man, he is clearly one of the top tier offensive linemen in this class. I don't see him, I'm starting to see some people mention him more and more, but he is up there with the Will Campbells, the Kelvin Banks, the Josh Simmons, in my opinion, with this class. Like, should be graded similarly to them. I think some teams, depending on your system of your team, that it's going to be like heavy outside zone, you're probably going to like him. I also think he could potentially, like, I think he's one of the guys that can play both tackle and guard at the next level. Like, he can for sure play tackle. That athleticism there, I love his explosiveness. He plays with some physicality. Once he gets engagement, he sticks with it. He's trying to finish you down the field. Really good on those, like, reach blocks. Covers a lot of ground. In pass protection, I love his strike timing and punch. I think he's got enough length, too, to play the tackle position, but I feel like he's got enough mass and enough nastiness where he can also play on the interior. But I'm definitely a fan of him. I think he plays with some nuance too. He sticks with it. I think he's got the whole physical tool set, natural feel for the game, and not too many weaknesses really to go around. There are times, where I think he can maybe work on, his like angles, his pass to the second level. And then there's sometimes where I think when he's like pure pass setting, like a vertical setting, he can, get slightly out of position as well. But that becomes less of an issue if he does play on the interior, obviously. Which here, boom, look at the explosiveness. Just really good laterally. He's just so natural. Look at him instantly reach, get his hat across. Good hand placement. Plays with good leverage, pad level, and now he's just leg driving, sticking with it. He's able to either get your hat across, reach you, hook you, or just sustain these blocks and then continue and drive you down the field, finish that type of scenario. Kicking out on the outside, that first play really to showcase like how I think he fits as an outside zone scheme guy. He's very comfortable on these outside zone stuff. He's got the feet for it. He's got the understanding of how to reach block, getting to the correct position on those types of blocks. And that's another like example of that. And then here he can, he can kick out on like, whether it's, inside zone, even maybe some duo type thing. He can be your kick out guy on the edge. And once he gets like sustained here, like look at him finish this block. Boom, love that. Love that he can display some nastiness. Like I wouldn't say like this isn't even like the biggest part of his game, but like it shows up enough on film where like I think you gotta point it out. Like that's what you want to see from your offensive lineman. Here's another example of just boom. It's the outside zone stuff. He doesn't even have to reach him every time. Like this guy, he's not able to get quickly out on top of him, but he gets his hands engaged really well. Like he does a great job. He uses independent hands as well. Like he can use one hand, both hands at the same time, different stabs and things like that. Gets engaged to him, and now feels that this guy's 6, straining to get to the outside. Okay, allow, your running back can hit a cutback here off the back of you, basically bang through the hole, and then extend those arms, finish this to the ground. He's got some good ability to like torque people out the club, that type of situation. Good feel for like leverage, momentum, getting these guys out there. Here's just another example of a similar thing. Outside zone, completely washes guy, displace him out of there so your guy can hit off the back of you, and if you need to, he can also capture the edge. He's got that level of athleticism. Just winning in both ways there, which I think is super important. And then in pass protection, like he's got a good enough power and anchor. Like one, out of his kick step, he's explosive. He stays under control. Nothing really, I think, to complain about technique wise for the most part. He doesn't like usually get too over the top, and if he does, he can balance and anchor, get back in control pretty quickly. High hand to low hand, I think his timing of everything's pretty good. And then just boom, into position exactly where he needs to be. And then Sawyer, who's a pretty good power rusher, doesn't, get up on him too quickly, which is nice. Same thing here with 4, like love the strike timing. Look at this. I believe that's against, these are draft players here, like Sawyer, and then I think this is Stewart. Gets engaged, boom, hands into the chest, underneath. He plays with such good pad level. Sometimes he maybe drops his head a little bit too much into these people, but then gets inside the hands there. Can maybe be a little bit better with the timing of his punch there, but he's engaged, and this guy has nowhere to move his hand. Like, he's such inside the chest and so tight to him that this guy has, like, no chance to use his length and size to his advantage. It's just a awesome way to see him play. Now, as I'm talking about, like, sometimes on these reach blocks, we'll see another play where it's kind of turns into a negative, but, like, he can get on you so quick. Sometimes they almost shoot up the field and kind of blow up the play. But he cuts them off so fast. You can just see the athletic potential and explosiveness here of how quickly he can cut people off. And he can do that, I think, at tackle guard. That's why I'm thinking, team that's running heavy outside zone, which is a lot of teams in the league, especially like the Shanahan style systems. Here's just another example of sticking with it, driving, pushing guys down the field, sustain, finish. Big sort of part of his game, as I was mentioning. And this is something I like to see too. Work down like this on some gap scheme stuff, or more like split zone. Actually, thought the tackle was pulling. The Titans working a class split zone, but being able to attack the low hip of 52, so help the combo, and then cut off the linebacker, get a body on him. Those are just like solid reps, and then he also finishes the guy to the ground, which is just another aspect of the game that ends up helping out your team so much. You want this level of physicality up front. It's just absolutely beautiful from Membou. Finish up front, doesn't get anything to work with. Sees 32, doesn't go. Boom, eyes, find 56. Get help with your right guard. Boom, finish that block to the ground, even in pass protection. And you can see, like, look at his feet to mirror match and redirect. Like, this guy shows the inside, so he's able to, boom, feet get back in the spot. We're in slow-mo. And then they hit him with the spin move, and he just stays so under controlled and balanced. A lot of guys would fall over in these situations, but he's just staying really, really smooth and patient in his pass set to get his back in position. He's got a good base here, good feet the whole way. Here's an example. I love this one because look at him right here. It's very subtle, but boom, the fake little jab right there with his right hand, and then drops his hands back down. Now he gets 11 with that little fake jab. He flashes his hand. This is a flash technique. Boom, flash like you're gonna go after him. It's very subtle, but 11 sees it. He then engages. Now that's when he's gonna throw his move. But now Membou now has baited him into throwing his move, and then is able to reset and get in the perfect position. And look how easily he's able to anchor and play with good knee bend, very good flexibility. Membou is definitely a good player, just winning out on the edge on a lot of different reps. Also love seeing this, a snatch and trap. It's not something I saw him do a ton of, but I saw it happen a few times on the film. A few different clips of him hitting snatch and trap, which is always good to see. I saw a handful of people doing this. Also, Marcus Bowe from Purdue. He's the guy that does it a lot. But always nice to see that in the bag. A lot of the best tackles in the league have that technique in their bag. Always nice to see that. Here's what I'm talking about. Like, where he's so quick sometimes that he almost gets over pursued on these angles. Like, he's so fast off the ball that he tries to reach so quickly that they're able to shoot up the field before your running back is really able to get to the edge themselves. So that's something to sort of keep notice of on these types of runs. And then sometimes when he takes angles to the second level, he can just go a little bit too quick for his own good. But you can still see on this play, like, the athletic potential. Like, look how good and natural he is moving laterally. It just ended up getting blown up on that type of play. Here he is on the left side. I believe, they're unbalanced. They bring him to basically be, the sixth offensive lineman, but he's playing basically as your tight end. Love seeing this. Get outside hat on 15. Get left tackle to get control of him. Once left tackle is now in control, you peel off of it, get to the DB, then kick him out. That's absolutely exactly what you want to see on those types of combos. Here's another example of, like, it's not he gets the interior D lineman here on this play 0. No one coming off the edge. Find him, get to work. Love the hands. He's able to, gets a little bit wide with him initially, but boom. Now he's able to reset the hands, get back in position. Good body lean. Doesn't get over top. And now that 0, you see that 0 is getting over the top, length into him. He's able to snatch down and then snatches him to the ground and finishes that block. Very good work. Pass protection, doing it in different ways. Continuous hand fighting like this rep. Like, he even tries to hit the snatch here. It doesn't quite work. 93 is able to regain his balance, but it slows him down long enough. And now allows Membou still wins the rep very easily because that snatch, he attempted it, took him out of the play. And then more is outside zone. Now, this time, like, he can widen you out. He sticks with it. This is something you got to be able to do. Like, we've talked about the reach stuff, but when the guy has the outside leverage, you got to be able to displace and wash them down laterally, so those cutback lanes can be created. Because if they are able to set the edge but also constrict, that just blows up everything else that's going up here. And he's able to widen them long enough for then your running back to hit that lane, and then because your interior line had a good enough block there. And look at this, like, Membou. I actually don't know. I looked it up a few different times. I saw people pronouncing it differently, but hopefully it's Membou. Boom, shoot that outside hand. Little bit over the top here, like, balance-wise, and he's able to just, boom, recover very quickly, get back exactly where he needs to be. I feel like he's got pretty good recovery ability, which is always important on the offensive line, because you're not going to be perfect every single time. It's just not realistic. But Membou, Very excited. I think he's going to be a riser, and that continues to go. I feel like he's definitely going to go first round at this point. And I even saw like Dane Brugler's mock, they had him going like 11th overall. So he's clearly, some people around the league definitely like him. And I think he's going to be starting to be put in that category with a lot of the top guys. So if you guys really like, comment and subscribe.